Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Darren Blonsky with Sonoma Wealth Advisors in beautiful Sonoma, California. With me is my co-host, Dan Anchetta with Synergy One Lending. As you know, we're continuing the process of talking with business leaders throughout the North Bay, learning about their experience through COVID-19. How was their business before? How is it after? What are they doing to pivot? How do they see the future going? Uh, we're grateful to have Tony Moll with us here this morning. He is the proprietor, one of them behind Three Fat Guys. He's got a great story, great background, great guy if you know him in the community, real active. So we're excited to hear from you, Tony, and tell us a little bit more about what you're doing.
Awesome. Well, first off, thanks for having me. And let's hope that the video this time doesn't get all screwed up. But yeah, so a little bit about our history, and then I guess I'll go into a little bit about my family's history, and then go from there. But so Three Fat Guys in 2006, the three of us were drafted to the Green Bay Packers, and all played on the offensive line. Hence our name, Three Fat Guys. In the locker room, they call the linemen the Fat Guys. And so that's kind of like the short story there. But for me and my family, we came to the North Bay right around about 100 years ago on both sides of the family. My mom's side mainly from Italy, and my dad's side mainly from Norway and Sweden. You know, 5 generations later, we're still here and kicking and screaming in multiple different cities across the North Bay, and mainly all in the home building business. But after my football career, actually during my football career, we launched Three Fat Guys, and knowing that the wine industry was somewhere I wanted to be able to hang my hat. And so in 2007 was our first vintage of Cabernet that we created. And slowly but surely ramped up to where we are today, which is right around 1,500 cases total of ultra premium luxury style wines. It's been a lot of fun, I'd say, in the last year and a half. We've taken a lot of massive growth since about 2013, and that's when I retired from football. We launched into a couple different styles of wines. We got into Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Cabernet, growing nicely into each of those. Each of the vineyards we're using are high pedigree vineyards. If they're not award winning in some way, that there's award winning or celebrated wines that have come from them in the past, or there's something extremely special about the vineyard for us. And, it's definitely shown. Each of our wines have definitely become a staple here in the area. And as we continue to grow and get ready to offer more.
So, Tony, do you go to all the different NFL teams and find the Three Fat Guys and get them to promote your wine label?
We're, slowly but surely it's been a task of ours. The funniest thing about professional athletes is if it's not for free, they don't want
it. They're all using handouts, huh?
That's all it is. Yeah, it's like you feel special if they're willing to give it to you for free, or give it to you and pay you. Yeah. So get in to go, hey, listen, I want you to buy my wine. They're like, okay.
Yeah. But like, no, you're sponsoring me, right? I get to drink for free.
Right. Yeah. No, we started doing some fun stuff this last year. We opened the tasting room here in the town of Sonoma, right on Broadway, end of August, early September. And so kind of like right in time for football season. And so, we started, trying to show games there and have a lot of fun with it, and kind of, bring people in from other teams. And it's so funny how many people love to show up there in their football jerseys and different things, and, cheering on the Packers or the 49ers or the Raiders or whomever. And, it's just a really fun place that's kind of out of the ordinary, I think, for most people, where you're mixing football and wine. But there's definitely a huge market for it. And, we're definitely taking advantage of it and exploiting that to help us grow. And, what's fun about what's happened since, we opened the tasting room is, obviously our sales have kind of gone through the roof, taking advantage of that retail, that market. And, as we had a little pre-discussion earlier, as you get started in wine, you typically end up, pushing into wholesale. selling everything to restaurants or stores and distribution and just trying to make a name for yourself and just get rid of inventory. And then all of a sudden you get into that world of retail, and all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a minute, I can almost double my money on the same sale of wine. I think I'd rather like this. And then now all of a sudden, fast forward 6 months later, 7 months later from when we started the tasting room, and now it's completely almost gone away to where, the state of California says, you got to close down the tasting room. You can't really do any sales at all. And so we've kind of gone back to really trying to push our wholesale accounts and getting into distribution hands. And then on top of that, creating a whole new market, which is this virtual wine tasting world.
Yeah, tell us more about that. So that's a major pivot, right? You're going from wholesale and then kind of direct to consumer sales within the tasting room. So now that's off the table. So what does that look like? What are you guys doing?
It's funny, for us, we've prided ourselves on not being this mass marketer. I think having a comical name, it's kind of something that most people are expecting, that all of a sudden you're going to get hammered with emails and buy in the next 10 minutes and you get 20% off, things like that. Or buy 3, get 1 free. And it's, I've wanted to limit that completely. And, I wanted to grow the brand organically through word of mouth and people joining the club and then bringing their friends in. And we've done a really good job with that. And, taking care of the right people, in our minds, which, we give a significant discount to military, first responders, and school teachers. And, so we're seeing those categories really start to grow of people that are, coming into our tasting room, which has been awesome. And then all of a sudden, with COVID-19 hitting and, we have to, close our doors at the tasting room, and it's like, okay, well, how are we going to continue to do retail? And, I wouldn't say we were one of the first, but we were definitely, I'd say ahead of the game of most of the industry on getting ramped up and rolling on these virtual wine tastings. And, it's no different than what we're doing now. And, this is one of the backgrounds I use because it's the back patio of our tasting room. And, we could, as little as, one other person that we're talking to about our wines to, larger groups, up to 20 different couples, which we've done, and it's pretty cool and amazing. The differences of what the conversations lead into. But it's raw emotion sometimes, which is pretty cool. And an example I gave before the video cut, and now we're redoing it. But we had this one that it was literally it was 8 couples, and several of them hadn't seen each other for quite some time, and there was tears of joy surrounded by drinking 3 fat guys. And it was like, literally, this is what it's all about. This is what the wine is meant to be. This is what our story is our desire to keep our friendship together and continue to grow something for our kids and the next generations. Yet we're able to do this through keeping other families and close friends together now. And it's just it's been a lot of fun. And it's
so interesting how people want to connect. This is really come to light, is that people really want to connect with each other. They're finding interesting ways to do it, and having a shared experience that they're all popping the same bottle of wine at the same time and being able to sit and enjoy it together, just like they were in a tasting room, is an interesting pivot that we're seeing in this world. And I just wonder, do you think that's going to continue? Like, fast forward to after the fact, when this is all done, do you think that still happens? Is this the new normal, or is this a temporary thing?
I think we're going to definitely going to continue it. Any new channel that actually shows good positive growth, why would you want to shut it down? And I've always been a fan of FaceTime and video conferencing. I think it's for, I'd say, probably the last 3-4 years, it's been the form of communication that it kills me that we're not using enough of. And, finally this is what it's taken to get people to go, actually, it's kind of fun seeing people instead of just talking on the phone. And, for me, and, I get people that buy our wines over in Europe or Florida or Alaska or wherever, that I can literally jump on and do this with them. And we have a true face-to-face conversation while they're drinking the wine or they're experiencing it, and get, and it's fun. And, sometimes, the other guys that, Daryn, who's one of the other fat guys, he lives in Idaho, and Jason lives in Kentucky, and, you know, they're able to jump on. And, you know, and these people get to have the three of us sit there and have these really fun conversations with them where they can ask anything. And it's this, it truly is an intimate moment, you know, in the weirdest world of things, 3 NFL guys that you literally get to sit there and hang out with. And so I think, you know,
you guys ever put your jerseys on while you're doing it?
Yeah, we've done that. It's as hokey as it sounds like the whole experience would be.
Fun, man.
Adding the jersey or the helmet in makes it extremely hokey.
Absolutely.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. I got
That's the culture, man. I mean, that's what makes the brand unique, right?
Yeah, totally.
And you know, just kind of anecdotally watching it being a person in the. Oh, there you go.
This is me. Here, let me get back out of the way. So I was I jumped on a virtual class with a school in Santa Rosa, and I was wearing my San Diego jersey. And sweet. You know, we just talked about football, but I mean that's you know, that's what this is all about, is you get this ability to just connect with people in a way that, you know, they come into the taste room and we have pictures up of when we played football, and, you know, and they're all in black and white because, you know, I'm a photography guy, and you know, to me that's the real way to look at images. And so all of a sudden now I can actually throw on a jersey and actually talk with these kids or whomever else, and they're just like awestruck. And it's just the funniest thing, because I'm just Tony, you know, I'm just a fat guy that, you know, got to block people for a living, and
fat guy who pushed other fat guys around.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you know, the best part about, you know, I like to say as well, you know, with what's going on is, you know, I made my living off of audibles. You know, if you could do the audible correctly, you could win. And so now all of a sudden we've taken this massive audible in our business, and we're able to react, you know, pretty fast and get it up and rolling, you know, right away. And, you know, I think it's definitely helped us continue our sales and you know, kind of stay on track with our numbers that we've been looking for this year, because, you know, we've just taken 4 or 5 years of massive growth. And, you know, this is supposed to be our first year of really, you know, seeing amazing positive numbers. And, you know, we're able to continue on that track, which has been great.
So I love that analogy. That's dialed. Love it.
Yeah. Audible. You got to be able to pivot for sure.
Yep.
But what do you got? How are you guys selling your wine right now?
So, the one place that, you know, it's always been a place that we've been trying to grow is within distribution, you know, which is huge, because a lot of people don't want to buy wine online and they don't want to pay for shipping. And, you know, most companies that are in my position, a very small business, doesn't have the ability to truly pay for shipping. And, you know, we take a huge hit, and, you know, but we're willing to do it to sell wine. So most of the time, if we can get it into distribution hands and they can get it in the stores surrounding the people that want to buy our wines, it's going to help us. You know, and so half of the battle now is to work with distribution. That they don't want to work with small companies. They want that big conglomerate that can just feed them millions of cases. And so that's what been a big struggle for us. But, you know, we have 3 new states that we're bringing in this year, that I'm extremely excited about, and which is going to help us grow. But, you know, ultimately for us, which is, you know, I would say for most privately held wineries and breweries and distilleries, the idea of a club that is almost, you know, is your guarantee on release that you're going to sell an X amount of your wine, in our case, is huge. And so that's truly our big focal point, you know, of the last 3 years, is just growing our club and getting people, you know, on board all over this, you know, all 50 states, and, you know, continue to grow that way. Ultimately, what that allows you to do is just grow channels, and that's going to be the focus probably in the next 2 or 3 years, is how do we create more channels of growth, which in our world, that's more SKUs of wine in different styles.
So during this shelter in place, you guys are reaching out to your existing club members and offering other wines to them? And can people call the winery and do curbside pickup, or what can people do?
Yeah. So, the biggest step for us right now is just, in the category of dial for dollars, we're reaching out to our club members and checking in with them, making sure, if they needed some wine, we're happy to help them and get it shipped off to them. But, we've now kind of gotten to the point where California is allowing, everybody to kind of figure out how to continue to do some type of business. So we're able to do curbside pickup from the tasting room, but we've dubbed ourselves as the world's first drive-through winery. And so you literally can just pull in with your car and, pre-order or order there. And we made a really funny montage video about it, but, we'll just pop your trunk, we'll load you up, and off you go. And, it's actually been quite fun. And so now we're trying to get a host of a handful of local food trucks to join in on it and kind of offer food for this drive-through at our tasting room.
Cool. Huh. That's awesome. I love how you guys just pivoted, said, all right, we're just going to play a different game. Right. Mm-hmm. And I imagine you learn those skill sets in the football out on the field, right? Some days you kind of shift.
I think, in general in business, there's been a massive shift, I would say, in the last decade. And, I think big tech really has a play in that. The idea of loyalty to a business is, that's changed a lot. And it's, what's good for me is good for my family, good for the gander. How do I continue to grow and do what I need to do? And so I think you're seeing a lot of people that are just jumping around from business to business. And, so we got to be able to do that within our own businesses. And I think the old idea of, hey, I've been known for selling honey, and so I'm a honey salesman. Well, maybe you need to look at the market and see that there's a different way to do it. And maybe it's, instead of jars of honey, you're selling honey sticks. And that's what truly everybody wants. And can you actually just make that shift now? And, and that's what I think we're, trying to figure out how to do is, what's the way, another avenue to sell wine that can separate us and help us continue to grow and continue on our path of what we were trying to project for doing in 2020. And, I think virtual wine tastings are great. And I think, like I said, we're going to continue to do them, but I don't know if that's the end game. I think there's got to be another route that nobody's yet to really figure out that people are going to really love and enjoy. I think air travel is going to be pretty much non-existent this year. People are going to be very reluctant to get into a closed circular air vessel with a bunch of other people. Yeah. So I think, what we're going to, once this state reopens itself, we're going to get a lot of people from Northern California that are going to want to get to the coast, get to the parks, come up to the wine country. And, what does that look like inside of our business? And how are we going to be able to handle allowing people come back in and do wine tastings? Is there going to be new regulations for making sure the wine glasses are sterile after use? Or all of the people that are working in the tasting room have to be gloved up and masked up always? I don't know, but, there's got to be a way to almost like a health certificate that's going to help people feel comfortable coming to you, and vice versa, making sure I feel comfortable letting them through the door. Right. And, and so I don't know. I think the virtual wine tasting, we're going to continue to grow this and do it and have fun with it. I see in a lot of people, Instagram Live and Facebook Live has just gone through the roof. We're having a lot of fun doing that with guys we played with, and getting a couple more guys scheduled each and every week that we're talking to that are, enjoying the wines. And I just think the overall engagement that what we're doing now, I don't know. I think it's I think we're on our path to a whole new world of business.
It's so interesting that a real stressful kind of game-changing event like this, like, kind of opens up new avenues and makes you think differently, and then, creates opportunity for those who are willing to call that audible and change. This could be a dramatic shift, that leads to great success for you.
Totally. I don't know about you guys, but, both my in-laws family and my own family, I mean, we're doing weekly check-ins, or we're doing Zoom calls. And, to get that older generation that has always been extremely reluctant to use anything of a password on a computer, this and that, and it's something they've always wanted to stay away from. I'm doing like face-to-face virtual tastings and doing, it's amazing to see this ability of technology really just launch and take off. And I think it's a whole new world that's, ready to be explored and, and I think exploited for business in a good way.
Right. Speaking of family, your wife's family owns a restaurant in Sonoma, the Red Grape, and I'm just kind of curious to know, you have some insight into that. Can you tell us what they're up to and what that business looks like today?
Yeah, it's I think hospitality in general is the hardest hit industry of everything that's gone on. You take a restaurant, for example, and they have 50 to 100, sometimes even more, 200, 250 employees that they're paying for, and all of a sudden, you don't have the ability to bring people in to buy your food and to give your comfort to. And, the best way to do, for them is to, unfortunately allow everybody to kind of go to unemployment where they're going to be able to continue to make money. And in the long run, it'll help the business stay afloat. Luckily, where the restaurant's at now, the Red Grape is, they're back open 7 days a week and for lunch and dinner, and they're doing curbside pickup and delivery. And, but the next big step is how do you get people back in the door and what does that look like? And, that's the big question at this point. And, and we'll see how it all shapes out. But I mean, it's just the hardest thing is when you look at our major hotels that are here in Sonoma are closed. They have closed their doors. And, what is that going to look like when we try to reopen? Are they going to be able to reopen? Because I mean, I just imagine the amount of money that they've kind of just let go out the doors over the last couple of years, from the fires to the PG&E blackouts to the smoke, and now this. There's a lot of hurt that it's like almost having this like horrible scab that you just continue to reopen, and you're just like, when is it going to heal? I just want to get back to normal. Yeah. I feel like that's what we're dealing with here in the North Bay. And just, with the restaurants and, the tasting rooms, the bars, the wineries, what are we going to do? What is our community going to do to come together and figure out how to attract the right tourists to come back to continue to go back to our daily lives? I don't know. It's going to be crazy, but luckily for the Red Grape, we've been able to figure out a way to kind of get the doors back open and, hire back more and more of the employees, making ends meet and keeping the bills paid. And, right now that's half the battle, is just getting through the month.
Survive.
Yep.
Right. But just to be clear, I can drive through 3 fat guys, pick up some wine, and then go pick up pizza at the Red Grape and then go home.
Totally.
It's not sounding like a very terrible situation. This sounds like it's actually okay.
Yeah.
There's 2 types of food that go amazing with wine. And, as a fat guy, I will truly vouch for this. It's pizza or barbecue.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's what we need, is a good barbecue place in town. Maybe that's your next drive-through, right next to 3 fat guys. Barbecue. I just we don't have any place. Where's the barbecue?
I know. Well, we got a couple good spots, but they're far. They're far away from downtown.
There's one in Agua Caliente, but getting out there these days is like a half-hour trip from downtown.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. There's Coach Volant, Rob Larman, he does a great job with his barbecue. He's part of Rotary in the club that I'm in. And then there's Tips, which is also tri-tip trolley.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So we're actually partnering with them this Saturday at the tasting room. They're going to be making meals. So as you drive through to pick up your wine, or you're coming to pick up your dinner, hopefully you want to buy a bottle of wine.
Nice.
Tri-tip sandwich.
I think that's the next big step of, in this mobile industry that we're creating, is this ability to just go get food, this and that, and it's all done from your phone or from your computer. And you'll be connecting just like this with friends around the world or your family and having dinner this way. I don't know. I think it's pretty intriguing to see what's going to happen, but I don't, going back to that whole idea of doing virtual tastings and, using the computer cameras, it's going to be our daily life now.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I don't think things change. I think at least everything I read, sounds like things are lightening up for this round of C19, but looks to me like C19 fall is coming at us, and let's pray that the fires stay away in Northern California, because boy, that could be a bad scene.
Yeah, you might have to throw your yellows back on.
Right? I would love that. I would not shy away from that opportunity. It'd be tragic for the community, but I certainly love wearing them yellows.
Tony, anything that you want to tell, any insight or thoughts you want to leave us with, or the community at large, or just general thoughts?
Yeah, totally. No, I want to just jump in a little bit about our business, kind of what we're doing and kind of the direction we've wanted to go for a long time. And now where we're heading is, this is our vehicle of being able to give back, and which I think is more important than ever. And, obviously, if you look at the way we've structured our wine club, we give major discounts to military, first responders, and school teachers. So those are definitely the categories that we're looking to, create some type of benefit that we're able to give back in. But then with that, we're also well involved within the Boys and Girls Clubs, and the Vince Lombardi Cancer Foundation is another one that we'd like to hang our hat at. And so if you want to experience Three Fat Guys and you can't stop by the tasting room, you can go to our website. You can buy wine from there. The other thing that I like to point out is we might be the only company that's doing a 1-bottle wine club. So it makes it pretty easy for people to kind of get involved and get in, and you get a nice little discount as our way of, having a guarantee that we're on release of our wines, we're able to sell the wine. So that's kind of like where we're at. The biggest thing that's going to be coming out around the corner is we're getting ready to launch our beer line. So that's kind of the reason why we've kind of stopped saying Three Fat Guys Winery or Wines, is because it's now Three Fat Guys, because we're getting ready to go wine and beer. So hopefully this thing lifts and we get the tasting room back open, and not only have some amazing wine out there, but we'll be starting to pour beer too, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Fantastic. Well, we'll have to do this again and check in to see how things are going, but next time we'll do it with some Three Fat Guys wine in hand.
Yeah, totally.
See what goes on from there.
Right, for sure.
Well, thanks so much.
Tony, thanks for your time, man. Really appreciate it.
Of course. Anytime, just holler. I'm around. Don't have much going on.
Curbside pickup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't run it out to your car.
Perfect.
Thank you.